Hi everyone, my name is Beth Green, otherwise known as Granny Rocks.
And hello, I'm James Maynard, otherwise known as Sweet Baby James. Welcome to
We hope,
Lighting the Way.
yes. And tonight I'm going to be talking about regret. Everybody has regret.
Oh, yeah. And if you don't
And
have enough, I've got plenty.
yeah, and what's the cure? So right now, Facebook isn't even showing up to.
Let me do that.
Yeah.
It's my
All
job.
right. Are we?
It's my job.
Yes.
We're on.
Oh my God, it worked. Finally. Okay. No regrets there. So, you know, as you get older, now I hate to say this, but many of us have more and more regrets. Like, oh, why didn't I go to Tibet when I could have?
Oh, yeah.
Right? Why didn't I have children? Why did I have children? Uh, why didn't I become a famous pop star? Why am I not the president of the United States or a company? Or why are my children taking drugs? Or blah, 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 blah. So it looks like we have some comments already, Jane.
We already have some comments. First of all, Todd says, hi there, and then he sends a happy face showing
Hi
hearts
there,
coming
Todd.
our way. Thank you, Todd.
Yes.
And Elizabeth says, hi there, and also sends a heart of love.
Oh,
Thank you,
hi
Elizabeth.
there, Elizabeth. Here we are. We're on. Let me tell you, it looked like it was touch and go, but we are here. So, anyway, regret is really, really big because the older you get, the less likely it is that you're going to be able to do something about it.
Oh, by the way, Amy says, hi, Beth and James. I'm driving, so can listen, but won't be able to share any comments.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Thank you,
good.
Amy. It's great to
That's
know
good.
that you're listening while you're driving.
Yeah, it's good to know
Just
you're
keep your
listening.
eyes on the road.
Please, please, please. Okay. Okay. So, but it isn't just old people. Like, you say like, oh, my life. What have I done? But this is not only for old people, because it's not only old people
Here,
who
I'll
have
do that.
regret.
I'll do that.
Okay.
We're
So,
good.
young people have regrets too.
Of course.
Why did I not ask that girl to the dance when I liked her? Why didn't I study for the test? Why did I drink all night and, give myself, a headache? So, I mean, there's a million kinds of regrets we have. Now, the kind of regret that I am talking about is not the kind of regret where you say, I regret that he was elected president. That is a different kind of regret. That's a regret about this. Oh, I regret that the climate is changing for the worse. I regret that the price of drugs has gotten so high. I don't mean drugs. I mean medications. Okay. So those are the kind of regrets that are regrets about what someone else did. The killer regrets, from my perspective, are
yeah?
the regrets we have about ourselves. Now, when you're young, you can regret something and say, well, I'll fix that. I'll fix that. And then I'll fix that. And then, oh, I regret that I went out on the ski slopes without being prepared and busted my leg, and now I can't fix it. So, I mean, there are things that,
Yeah.
honey, doesn't that go down?
Well, look.
No, I'm talking about on Facebook, honey.
Oh, Facebook.
Yes.
No.
Okay.
It'll go down by itself.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you. My fault, my regret. Okay.
Thank you for illustrating that.
So there are a lot of things that even as a young person we cannot fix. But there are things that we think, well, in the future, I'll fix this. In the future, I'll do that. Now, I want to tell you that there is a cure for regret. But you may not like it.
Well, I will tell you this. Speaking as a parent, I have had a lot of regrets about the parenting.
Oh, so we'll get to that, as a matter of fact. In fact, it was James who inspired me to this topic. But I have regrets too. You know, at 70, almost 79, a lot of things I'm never going to be able to do, right? I regret that I didn't exercise more as a child, not that I could. Anyway, so what is the cure for regret? Oh, you're going to laugh. The cure for regret is telling yourself, you did the best you could.
Oh, goody.
It's like, oh, is that all you
That's
have
our
to
get
say?
out of jail card.
No, but I
I
want to
did the
talk.
best I could.
But I want to talk about this because honestly, if it was the best you could do, oh, look, it's going the other way. See?
Oh, it is, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, Catalina says good evening, and good evening to you, Catalina.
Good evening,
Thank
Catalina.
you for joining us.
We don't know what's going on with the comments, why they're going in the opposite direction, but we
Yeah.
have to keep
Keep your eye on it.
keep our eye on that. Okay.
Or both eyes.
So, or four if you're wearing your glasses. So, what does it mean I did the best I could? Now, this is where it gets a little bit hairy, right? So, I'm going to give you an example. Here you are. You're a young person, a young guy or a young girl, or a young other, something else, and you're 13 years old and you buy a guitar.
Oh, okay.
Now, why are you buying this guitar?
I want to be a rock star.
Exactly. I want to be a rock. I want to be a rock star. It doesn't take too long to discover that you ain't never gonna be a rock star, rocking all the time. Anyway, now should you regret that? Well,
It's disappointment.
well, that's one thing. You can feel disappointed.
But if you did the best you could,
You know, that is
what
a
is there to regret?
Well, indeed, but that's the question. Did you? Did you do the best you could? So now that's a very
Did you
good
take
thing.
time to practice the guitar.
Well, first of all, I want to say that it's very good what you said. You said you could be disappointed. Now, disappointed is like, oh, I didn't like the fact that he or she got elected. I could be disappointed that all my efforts are not working, or that the Grand Canyon dried up before I ever got there. So that is a very good point. Then I'm not regretting my own behavior. I am disappointed by something that is or is not happening, you see. But did I really do my best? So let's say I get this guitar and I don't exactly practice every day. Now, am I doing my best?
No.
Well, that depends
Oh, well.
on what else I have to do.
Oh, well, if you're helping the family out with chores and it takes all your time outside of all the homework you're doing.
Exactly, because let's say you decide that you're going to be a rocket science, and so you better study math instead of spending all your time learning the guitar. Or you have to work, your family needs you and you're out working and going to school and all of that. You may not have that much time to practice. Or you may discover that you really don't like it that much, but you're embarrassed to admit it because you spent money on this guitar that you're never going to play. Oh, yes, that's. But now let's say you have practiced. Okay. And so you can say, yeah, I did the best I could now. But it takes more than practice to become a rock star. You've got to also, first of all, you have to play rock, which I don't.
And second of all, you got to have talent.
You gotta have talent. Well, supposing you practice and you have no talent. Maybe you're not gonna be that much of a star because, well, unless they happen to be promoting a lot of people who have no talent, which sometimes I think happens, but that's my judgment. So you may be disappointed or sorry that you don't have talent, but you can still say, I really made an effort and I have nothing to regret. I put my heart and soul into it. Well, supposing now, okay, so there's a person who could say, yeah, I really tried, I did my best and it just didn't fall out right. Well, supposing you do have talent. Okay, you have talent. And you start writing songs that sound like mine. And they're like. Now, do you think if you're playing like this that you are going to become a rock star?
Not exactly.
Not exactly. So what happened, I bought the guitar. Of course, this would be translated to guitar. I bought the guitar. I put in the time. I practiced. I had talent, but I'm still not a rock star. Should I regret that? I can't regret that if this is the kind of music that comes out of me that is and not rock or not pleasing rock. Now, a lot of rock is not pleasing, so you have to find your audience. You may be somebody who really plays rock and it's screech, screech, and people love it. So good, then you get to be a rock star. But if people don't love your screech, what can you do about it? What are you going to do? So should you blame yourself? Because you see, that's what regret is all about. See, I want you to really get this. I'm using one example, but but it applies to everything. We can go further, right? So I cannot help that people in the world do not like the kind of music I play, and that they really like other kind of music. I can't help that. Have I done my best? Yes. Now, supposing I said, no, I haven't done my best because my determination is to be a rock star. So I need. Do we have 7 comments?
Yes, we do.
All right. Can we just go down and make sure that people aren't getting under? I mean, it may be right. It may be right. It's just kind of odd.
Yeah, we've seen them.
It's very odd. Okay. So you can say, no, but I really want to be a rock star. So first of all, I'd better play rock. And I'd better find out what people like. If I want to be a rock star, people have to like what I'm doing. Well, then I'm at this funny place where, do I want to play what people like? Or do I want to play what I want? So, I make up my mind about that. I make a decision. So then I am choosing expressing myself over being the rock star. Yeah. But there's other things. Let's say I've done everything. I've learned all the formulas. I've been watching the charts. I know what sells. I've gone to classes at community college about how to write pop music or rock music that people are going to like. And I've done all that. And now I'm in a band and we're playing, and all my friends love what I'm doing, right? I love your music. I love your music. Okay. All your friends love your music, but nobody is listening except your friends. Should you regret that?
No, you've done the best you could. That's so far.
Well, have you done the best you could? Have you actually spent hours and hours, like you have this amount of time, investigating how do you get your music in front of the public eye? You know,
yeah.
are you getting out
Promotion.
promotion, promotion, promotion? Have you investigated promotion? Well, and you say, okay, now if I have a lot of money, I can hire some promoter, right? Let them worry about it. And it still might work, not work. But they can promote you forever and it just doesn't click. It doesn't happen. You don't have that luck. You don't have whatever it is. Well, you don't regret that because you said, you know, I really did everything I could. But maybe I don't have the money to hire a promoter. So that means that I have to do the promotion. That means hours and hours of figuring out how to promote yourself. And by this time, you're not even playing the guitar anymore because you're spending all of your time trying to promote yourself and your band so that somebody will listen to you other than your friends. And it may not work. It may not work at all. Now, of course, somebody is going to tell you about somebody who did it all by themselves and came up with 500,000 streams on Spotify. And you think, what's wrong with me? What did I not do? Right? Maybe you don't have the brains for it. Maybe you don't have that kind of whatever it takes. So, you know what I'm saying? So by the time we're looking at this, and maybe you even do, and maybe you're a great promoter, and you have 500,000 streams on Spotify once. That's the end of it. Which happened, or you get a record deal and you do one song and it's like, oh, Breesia, what, yee, fabulous, and that's the only song anybody ever hears from you. It's called a one-hit wonder. So what's to regret? Did you really see? As you go along, you have to decide how important this is, what resources you want to put into it. Are you doing the right thing? Do you have the talent? Do you have the time? Do you have the other resources? How important is it? And you may still not succeed. Now, you may be disappointed, but you can't regret that you didn't make your effort.
That's right.
And that is really the difference between killing yourself and being sad. While your songs didn't make the charts or you never got invited back to sing at the local bar, you've actually done well at school and you've discovered a cure for cancer. Right? Now, should you regret your lack of a rock star career?
No.
No, because you probably used your gifts for something better. But when we regret, we don't think about that. We think, why didn't I take that trip to Tibet or Italy or something? I didn't think, oh, I stayed home and I learned so many things that have really helped humanity. So don't regret it. You actually did the best you could, and it looks like we have another comment.
Oh, yes, here we are. Muhammad says, it is natural for us as humans to regret something we do wrong. It is saintly men who don't regret because they don't do anything wrong. This is my imagination. You may agree with or not, Natalie.
Well, honestly, Mohammed, as you probably have already suspected, there are no saints, and there is nobody who doesn't do anything wrong, because doing things wrong is a one-way ticket to evolution, to learning, to growth.
Oh, yeah.
A really saintly person.
Learn from the mistakes.
That's right. Or you just evolve from them. See, a really saintly person is someone who doesn't worry so much about whether or not they're succeeding, but worries more about what they're giving to other people. So maybe while someone else is becoming a rock star or something else, I mean, you could become a CEO of a big corporation, but you didn't stay home with your children. So, are you going to regret that? Was that the best choice? Did you do the best you could? So there you go. And we have another. Thank you
and
for that
Todd,
comment,
yes.
Mohammed.
And Todd says, great points you're making here, and they relate to every realm.
Yes, thank you. I'm glad that
Thank
you're
you,
saying
Todd.
that, because I think it's true. Now, this came up for James because he's worried, he's upset about something. Do you want to share that, honey?
Well, I have parenting regrets. That there are certain bad habits that my offspring has taken on, and I regret not having done a better job of helping her stay on the right track.
Well, I'm not going to argue with you about the problems that your child has. And so many people are going to identify with that one, James.
Oh, yeah.
So many people. But
I can't regret about what other people do.
the only
But
question,
what
James,
did I do? Or
is
not
did
do?
you do the best you could at the time?
I'd say yes.
Well, then there's nothing to
Nothing
regret.
to regret.
Nothing to I am really serious. This is not a get out of jail card where you're not accountable for the damage you do. It is a giving yourself the relief that you really did the best you could at that time. Maybe you didn't have the resources. Maybe you didn't know better. Maybe you haven't had the experience, Muhammad, yet that would have led you to behave in different ways. Oh, maybe you were brought up badly. Maybe you were traumatized by something and you couldn't even maybe think straight, right? But if you did the best you could at the time, there's nothing to regret. I want to share something very quickly with you. We have a program called Living with Reality, and it is contained in a book on our website, healingartsnetwork.org, and it's in the description. And in that website, there's a book called Living with Reality, and it's a program. And one of the things in Living with Reality is the process of making amends when we're being held accountable. So when we make amends, we always say, when we ask someone to forgive us, we acknowledge it's a long process, and maybe I'll share that with you in a week or so. The amends step, I think that it might be very helpful. But one of the things that we always say when you make amends to somebody, which is to apologize, right, in a very deep way, and as I say, I will explain this to you in another show. We always say, even though I couldn't have done any better at the time. I need to ask you to forgive me. Will you forgive me? And that resolves it because you're doing it, you're asking for forgiveness, but at the same time, you are having compassion for yourself that you really did the best you could. And maybe you would never do any better. We just don't know.
Oh, Muhammad has another remark. Says, what you are encouraging us not to get into, doing something wrong, which later makes us regret, is praiseworthy. What we do something wrong is out of depression, madam.
Well, there is true, and I am not saying that you can't do anything wrong. I am saying if you are doing the best you can, for example, if you are depressed and you are taking a negative behavior out of your depression or out of your unresolved feelings or something like that, then you're doing the best you can. You can still apologize for any damage that you may have done to someone else, but you should never beat yourself up for doing the best you can. And never compare yourself to other people. You know, we have finally gotten me an electric ukulele because, you know, I was looking for an electric guitar. It weighs 3.5 pounds. It is like yay big, and it sounds like an electric guitar, but it's actually a ukulele. I couldn't pick up an electric guitar, even the ones for children, because I'm so physically weak. So fortunately, I was able to find a solution. But if I look at myself and say, what's the matter with you that you can't even pick up a guitar or hold it? I can't. Why should I feel bad about myself as something I really can't do? If I do my very best, I need to have love and compassion for myself. And sometimes I'll find an answer, as I think I have found. We're going to turn this ukulele around and make it left-handed because I have a broken left arm and everything, and see if I can play. But I want to try. But I have to love myself, be kind to myself, and never think of yourself as wrong. You may think of yourself as having done wrong or have done something hurtful. But when you do the best you can, you need to forgive yourself. And that's what I have to say about it. And we better say goodbye. Our time is gone. We have so enjoyed being with you. And I'm so thrilled that we went on the air and it worked on both YouTube and Facebook.
Hallelujah. And we're going to be airing again next week, same time, same station, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific time.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night, sorry. Wednesday night.
6:30 p.m. Pacific
Right.
time
And
is
then
lighting
we
the way.
have another show on Thursday, which is Magical Improv.
Magical Improvs. And that's music. And that's tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Pacific time. So come and join us on either YouTube or Facebook Live, we hope. And it looks like we have one more comment before we have to say
And
two
he
more.
says, I can see that it is easy to regret I didn't do something different because I didn't know any better. But it's also easy to then end up regretting that I didn't know better.
Yeah,
Well, if
but
you didn't know better, you couldn't
if
help that you
that's
didn't
right.
know better.
If you really didn't know better, Amy, and that's really the question is, did you really do the best you could? And if you did, don't beat yourself up. And
Oh,
one more
Mohammed has
comment.
another comment.
Yes.
Our life is full of joys and regrets. Our joys are outnumbered by our regrets. This is my observation, madam. I don't think there is any remedy for this, madam.
Well, that is not a problem, Ben. But I can tell you, for me, as age, and I have many, many regrets.
But you've been able to overcome them by looking to see
By
if you've
forgiving
done the best you
myself.
could do.
That's right, exactly. So I love that your joys are outnumbering your regrets. And with that, we will say goodbye for now. Mwah.
Yes. Thanks for joining us. Glad to have you with us.
Remember, you can always leave a comment later, and please follow us on Facebook or subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also, please like or love this show and share it with people because people are really torn up with their regrets.
And by the way, the YouTube channel is called Beth Green TV.
It is. Okay.